Not every flower belongs by your front door. Some look beautiful, full of color and charm, yet carry a stillness that quietly blocks the very energy you're hoping to invite. Others seem harmless, just seasonal decoration, but without realizing it, they shift the feeling of your home from light to unsettled. And then, there are those rare few that do something more. They don't just bloom. They open the door to something better. We talk a lot about New Year intentions, about setting goals, attracting peace, building stability. But what if the first step isn't what you do, but what stands quietly beside your front door? Your entryway is the first place energy meets your home. It greets every guest, every package, every emotion you carry in after a long day. And yet, it's one of the most overlooked spaces when it comes to energy flow, mood, and yes, luck. This isn't about superstition. It's about noticing the patterns you already feel. Have you ever walked into your home and felt like the air was heavy, even though nothing bad happened? Or that your space just felt off, for no reason? Often, the reason starts at the door. Today, we're looking at 5 powerful flowers, real, tangible, beautiful plants that can gently shift the emotional tone of your entire home. Flowers that don't shout or demand attention, but instead do what many of us crave. They invite calm, balance, and possibility. Whether you're hoping for more clarity in the new year, steadier finances, or simply a home that feels good to come back to, start with what you see first. Start with the flower that listens. Because when your entrance breathes easier, so can you. Part 1: Why the flowers at your door could be holding your luck hostage. You might not remember the last flower you placed near your front door. Maybe it was a bright chrysanthemum around the holidays, or something you picked up on sale because it looked nice. Maybe it's been sitting there, untouched, for weeks now. But here's the truth: most people never realize that little pot right by your entryway might be holding back more than you think. Your front door isn't just where people walk in. It's where energy enters. Mood, momentum, emotion. Every single step you take into your home brings something with it. And the space that greets you, what you see, what you feel, what's quietly watching, is already setting the tone for what unfolds next. Most people treat this space like a hallway, but in reality, it's a threshold, a gate, one that either opens to flow or shuts down possibility. Have you ever had a week where everything just felt stuck? Where nothing terrible happened, but nothing moved either? Conversations don't go anywhere. Bills pile up. You keep forgetting things. Small things keep going wrong. What if that stuck energy didn't come from inside you, but from something sitting quietly at your door? Some flowers, as gentle as they seem, hold heavy energy. Their shape, their growth pattern, their scent, all of it interacts with the air you breathe, the pace you walk, the weight you carry. It sounds subtle, and it is. But subtle doesn't mean unimportant. It's often the things we overlook that shape how we feel most. And then there's placement. A flower pot directly in front of your door can block movement, much like a conversation that never gets resolved. A flower that wilts fast can reflect inconsistency. Even something as simple as a pot that's chipped or dirty can leave an impression of neglect on others. Yes, but more importantly, on you. It becomes part of what greets you every day, quietly reinforcing the energy you didn't ask for but allowed in. This isn't about superstition or magical thinking. It's about noticing what already exists. Your home is a system. Every object, every corner, every scent contributes to the emotional temperature you live in. Flowers, because they are alive, amplify that effect. They respond to care. They reflect attention. They mirror the emotional climate of a space more honestly than most people do. So if your home has felt heavy, slow, or just off lately, don't start with a full makeover. Start with the first thing you see when you walk in. Because maybe, just maybe, the flower you forgot about has been whispering something back this whole time. Part 2: 3 flowers that help your home breathe easier. Number 1: Moth orchid, for steady minds and calm ambition. Some flowers demand attention. They bloom loudly, burst with fragrance, steal the spotlight. But others, they simply hold space. They don't ask to be noticed, but when you do notice them, everything softens. The moth orchid is one of those flowers. And if you've been craving peace, structure, or a sense of emotional steadiness in your home this year, this might be the first thing your front door has been missing. Unlike many flowers that dazzle and fade, the moth orchid offers something different: quiet consistency. It doesn't rush to open. Each petal unfolds slowly, almost like breath, soft, controlled, never hurried. And that pace matters more than most people realize. Because the first thing you see when you walk into your home sets the rhythm for how you show up inside it. A rushed bloom creates a rushed mood. A gentle bloom gives you permission to slow down and keep steady. Place a moth orchid near your front door, and you're not just adding beauty. You're creating a subtle rhythm, one that calms the nervous system before your keys even hit the counter. Its graceful curves, the symmetry of its leaves, the way it holds itself upright without pushing all of it, speaks to emotional balance. Without saying a word, it reminds you: breathe deeper, walk slower, aim higher but gently. And perhaps most importantly, this flower lasts. While other blooms fade within days, the moth orchid keeps going, sometimes for weeks. In a world where so much feels rushed and short-lived, this quiet durability becomes more than a decorative trait. It becomes a symbol of long-term effort, of staying composed, of reaching goals without burning out. If you're someone who's been working hard on your business, your relationships, your own healing, this flower mirrors that journey. No drama, no chaos, just steady presence. But it's not just about what the flower does, it's also where and how you place it. The entrance of your home is where energy first touches your living space. And energy, like water, flows based on what stands in its way. Too many pots, too much clutter, or a plant that demands too much attention, and that flow starts to stutter. The moth orchid, on the other hand, doesn't overwhelm. It doesn't compete. Positioned just slightly off-center, never blocking the doorway, but gently to the side, it becomes a soft guide. Almost like a lighthouse for energy. Inviting, not overwhelming. Present, not overpowering. Its presence creates what many people describe, but rarely know how to name: a calm field. That feeling when you walk into someone's home and your shoulders drop without trying. That sense of: I can think here. I can breathe here. It's not the color of the walls or the size of the furniture. Often, it's something alive, something subtle, something like a moth orchid holding the space without asking for applause. And yes, it requires care, but not the kind that's overwhelming. A weekly wipe of the leaves. A clean, balanced pot, ideally ceramic, something that holds weight without feeling heavy. Light, but not harsh sun. Water, but not too much. It's a relationship of mutual respect. You tend to it with awareness, and in return, it holds space for your steadiness. It becomes a physical reminder, every time you come home, that calm isn't accidental, it's cultivated. This is especially powerful for women who are done with extremes, who've lived through years of rushing, fixing, doing too much for too many, who no longer want their home to be a project, but a place that quietly restores them. The moth orchid is not about bold reinvention. It's about subtle reinforcement. It reminds you that life doesn't have to shout to be meaningful, that a steady bloom can be more powerful than a dramatic one, that you can live with intention without needing every corner of your life to be perfect. So if 2026 is the year you're choosing peace over pressure, consistency over chaos, then let that intention start right where your day begins and ends your front door. And let the first thing to greet you not just be beautiful, but quietly aligned with the life you're choosing now. Because the truth is, energy doesn't need to be loud to be strong. Sometimes, it just needs to hold still long enough for you to feel yourself again. That's what the moth orchid offers. That's why it's more than decoration. It's a signal to you, to your space, to everything coming your way, that this home is rooted, clear, and ready to grow slowly, gently, and without losing its center. Number 2. Narcissus, the flower that cleanses without saying a word. Some flowers speak with color, others with scent. But the narcissus, it speaks with presence. It doesn't need to bloom loudly or compete for attention. It doesn't shout, "Look at me." It simply stands clear, clean, and quietly alive. And for homes carrying too much invisible weight, that kind of presence can make all the difference. There's something deeply symbolic about a flower that grows in water. Its roots aren't hidden in soil or tangled in the dark. They're visible, open, honest. The narcissus lives in transparency. It doesn't pretend. And when placed at the entrance of your home, it becomes more than just a decorative touch, it becomes a gentle filter. A living reminder that not everything needs to be held. Not every emotion needs to come in with you. Some things, like muddy energy or the residue of a heavy day, are better left at the door. We often talk about clearing our minds, cleansing our homes, starting fresh. But what's often missing is the in-between space, the soft transition between what we carry from the world and what we allow into our sanctuary. The narcissus fills that space. It doesn't force change. It encourages it, with grace. With each clean white petal and golden center, it creates an energy of renewal without ever saying a word. For women who've spent years tending to everyone else, fixing, giving, holding it all together, the narcissus offers something rare. A mirror that doesn't judge. It simply reflects. It says, it's okay to put something down now. And the longer it stays in bloom, the more its message deepens. It's not just about looking fresh. It's about feeling fresh. About reclaiming a quiet sense of clarity that the world too easily strips away. Placed near the front door, especially in a clear glass vase or white ceramic pot, the narcissus transforms the entrance into something lighter. It doesn't just look peaceful, it feels peaceful. The way its leaves rise cleanly, the way its water glimmers in morning light, the way it holds space without needing to perform all of it, shapes the emotional tone of your home before anyone even speaks. And this effect isn't abstract. It's something you notice, even if you can't explain it. Maybe you'll feel it in how your shoulders relax when you walk in, or how conversations feel less tense, or how guests linger a little longer without knowing why. That's the beauty of the narcissus. It shifts energy in ways words can't quite capture, but the heart immediately understands. But there's more. The narcissus doesn't just purify energy, it models balance. Its structure is elegant but not fragile. Its color is soft but not dull. Its rhythm of blooming is patient. It holds firm in water, not needing soil to root itself. That kind of resilience is a lesson in itself. You don't always need to be grounded in the traditional sense. Sometimes, what you need is to stay open, fluid, clear, and trust that clarity itself can be enough. Of course, care matters. The water should be changed regularly. The leaves should be trimmed with intention. Not because it's high maintenance, but because attention is part of the exchange. The more care you give, the more energy it reflects back. This isn't just a plant. It's a small ritual in self-respect. A message to your space and yourself that freshness is allowed. That lightness isn't indulgent. It's necessary. In homes that feel overstimulated, cluttered, or emotionally overburdened, the narcissus doesn't scold or strip things away. It softens, it rebalances. And for those living in colder climates, where winter stretches too long, or in cities where energy can feel overwhelming, this flower offers a pause, a breath, a clean line between the outside world and your inner world. And that boundary, that soft, beautiful boundary, is powerful. Because not every emotion deserves to walk into your home. Not every story from outside needs to live inside your walls. With the narcissus standing at your door, you create a quiet ritual of discernment. A silent sorting of what gets to come in and what can stay behind. This isn't about perfection. It's about intention. About choosing a flower not just for its beauty, but for the emotional climate it creates. And when that climate is clean, calm, and honest, everything that happens inside the home shifts with it. Even you. So if you've been waking up tired, walking into your house feeling heavy, or just sensing that something's off, consider this. Maybe the problem isn't what's happening inside. Maybe it's the energy you're letting through the door unfiltered, unchecked. And maybe all you need to begin shifting, that is a flower that knows how to listen without interrupting. That cleanses without explaining. That simply holds a little more light. That's the narcissus, quiet, clean, and completely transformative in the most unassuming way. Number 3. Master the power of gentle endurance. Some flowers never try to impress you. They don't bloom big or boldly. They don't perfume the room or steal the eye. But they stay. day after day, quietly present, unfazed by storms or sunlight. And in that quiet presence, they teach a different kind of strength, the kind that doesn't break when life bends. The aster is that kind of flower. If you've been moving through a season of uncertainty or simply feel tired from the ongoing demands of life, the aster is the flower that speaks directly to your nervous system. Its soft purple hues, delicate star-like blossoms, and clustered growth feel like whispers instead of shouts. But those whispers carry weight. Because what the aster offers isn't instant beauty or dramatic change, it's consistency. And sometimes, that's the most radical kind of peace there is. Placed along your walkway or near your front steps, not in the center, not trying to claim attention, the aster becomes part of the rhythm of your coming and going. Every time you pass it, something subtle anchors inside you. A message that says, you're still here, still moving, still blooming, even if today feels small. In homes where energy often rises and falls too fast, mood swings, unfinished conversations, stress that builds in the walls, the aster acts like a soft hand on your shoulder. A reminder that steadiness doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. That just because you're not changing everything doesn't mean you're not changing something. There's also something deeply comforting in how the aster grows in clusters, not alone. It brings a sense of togetherness, of quiet community, without overwhelming the space. For women who often carry so much on their own, this feeling matters. It creates the subtle sense that you're supported, that you're allowed to need softness, to crave gentle things, to move through life at your own pace. And in terms of care, the aster asks very little. It thrives in moderate light. It doesn't need perfect conditions. It doesn't wilt at the first sign of stress. It endures, which makes it the perfect mirror for anyone trying to build something that lasts, whether that's a business, a boundary, or a sense of emotional steadiness after a difficult year. When you place asters at your entrance, what you're really doing is choosing quiet over chaos, not because you're weak, but because you're wise enough to know that peace is worth protecting. And just like the flower itself, you don't have to bloom big to be meaningful. You just have to keep blooming. So the next time you look at your front door, don't ask, what looks best here? Ask instead, what helps me stay steady here? Because beauty fades, but quiet strength that stays. Part 3: 3 flowers that might be silently draining your space. Number 1, white chrysanthemum. Too still, too closed. Some flowers look perfect at first glance, neatly layered, symmetrical, soft in color. They give off the impression of calm order, maybe even elegance. But not everything that looks peaceful brings peace. Some flowers don't invite energy, they hold it in. They close off the very flow you're trying to create. And that's the quiet mistake many people make with the white chrysanthemum. It's understandable. The flower is beautiful, clean, round, and easy to find at grocery stores, especially around the holidays. It seems like the ideal neutral addition to your front porch, non-intrusive, fresh, even symbolic of simplicity. But that's exactly where the illusion begins. Because the white chrysanthemum, especially when placed at your entrance, doesn't soften energy, it seals it. The shape tells you everything. Tight, densely packed petals that barely allow space between layers. From the outside, that might read as neat. But energetically, it's stillness that borders on stagnation. The kind of stillness that doesn't soothe, it stops movement. And the entrance to your home. That's the last place you want energy to get stuck. Imagine walking through your front door and feeling flat. Not upset, not joyful, just numb. That emotionless fog that creeps in sometimes without a clear reason. It might not be about your mood. It could be about what's meeting you the moment you step inside. A flower that's too quiet, too inward, too closed to allow life to move freely around it. In Feng Shui informed energy placement, entrances are like the lungs of a home. They need to breathe. They need space to pull in fresh energy, to circulate intentions, to set tone and rhythm. But when a large pot of white chrysanthemums sits directly at your door, the visual and energetic result is compression. Like someone gently pushing against your chest every time you arrive. And it builds over time. That slow build of heaviness, of cluttered thoughts, of minor setbacks that seem to pile up for no reason. This isn't about superstition, it's about the emotional ecosystem you live in. A flower that carries too much closed energy may not harm you outright, but it quietly cancels out the renewal you thought you were creating. There's also the association factor. In many cultures, chrysanthemums, especially white ones, are tied to memorials, endings, or spaces of contemplation. That's why they work beautifully in a reflective garden or a quiet reading corner. But at the threshold of a home where life needs to move, conversations need to flow, and intentions are just beginning to unfold, their message is too still, too inward, too final. And while this might seem subtle, your body and mind often register the imbalance before you do. Maybe you're walking slower. Maybe you feel tired after coming home instead of restored. Maybe your creativity feels paused, your plans just a little delayed. When your entrance doesn't breathe, neither does the energy inside you. That's not to say the white chrysanthemum is a bad flower. It's not. But just like people, flowers have personalities. And this one, reserved, internal, contemplative, simply belongs in a different place. It thrives where silence is sacred, not where momentum needs to begin. Placing it in the wrong spot is like putting a gentle no where your life needs a clear yes. If you already have them at your front door, don't panic. The shift can be simple. Move them slightly to the side. Place them farther from the direct path of entry. Or, better yet, relocate them to a calm part of your backyard, a quiet porch corner, or near a space meant for reflection. The goal isn't to get rid of beauty. It's to reposition it where its energy matches its purpose. And if you're drawn to their shape or color, pair them with something more open, taller flowers with upward movement, or plants with lighter, airier textures that allow flow. It's not about rejecting stillness. It's about inviting breath. So before you buy that next pretty white flower for your doorstep, ask yourself, do I need stillness here or spaciousness? Because sometimes, the softest seeming choices are the very ones closing you in. And sometimes, the energy you're craving, the clarity, the movement, the fresh start is waiting just outside your door. You just have to make room for it to walk in. Number 2, red spider lily. Beautiful, but speaks of separation. Some flowers leave you breathless the moment you see them. The red spider lily is one of those. Its long, curling petals stretch out like flames, caught in motion, fiery, fragile, unforgettable. You may have seen it in a boutique garden or as part of a dramatic floral arrangement, and felt drawn in by its wild beauty. But not every beautiful thing belongs at your front door. Because while the red spider lily captures attention, what it brings into your space is a very different story. This flower is stunning but haunting. It carries a kind of energy that's hard to name, but easy to feel. A restlessness, a sense of longing. In cultures around the world, it's often associated with partings, with memories that never quite settled, with stories that ended too soon. And whether you believe in symbolism or not, your body knows when something feels unresolved. That's what this flower brings into a home when placed at the entrance, energy that doesn't land. That hovers. That lingers like a thought you can't shake. Have you ever walked through your front door and felt a sudden dip in mood? A strange tension that makes you want to move on quickly, or worse, disconnect entirely. Maybe you chalked it up to stress, or the weather, or just a weird day. But sometimes, the energy imbalance doesn't come from within. It comes from what's greeting you at the threshold. And the red spider lily, as beautiful as it is, can carry that emotional weight right into your living space. Its petals don't curve inward in comfort, they reach outward, almost like they're grasping. Its deep crimson color isn't just bold, it's intense. And intensity, when not balanced, turns from passion into pressure. At your entryway, this creates an energetic mismatch. What should be soft and welcoming becomes sharp, overactive, ungrounded. There's also a curious trait about this flower that few people notice right away: its leaves and its blooms never appear at the same time. The flower blooms only after the leaves have fallen away, and when the flower fades, the leaves return. They are never together. Visually striking, yes, but symbolically, it speaks to separation, a beautiful kind perhaps, but still separation. And when that's the first energy someone steps into when they visit your home, or when you return after a long day, It quietly shapes the way connection feels inside your space. It might show up as distance between people where conversations skim the surface but never deepen, or plans that keep starting but never fully take root. It might feel like forgetting things easily, feeling unsettled for no clear reason, or sensing emotional gaps that you can't quite explain. These aren't random. Energy is like water, it follows the shape of what it's poured into. If your entry is shaped by disconnection, the flow inside your home may echo that. That doesn't mean the red spider lily is a flower to fear. It's a work of natural art, but it belongs in the right kind of space. A quiet reading nook, a meditation altar, a place of honoring the past or reflecting on solitude. Spaces where pause is welcome, where distance has purpose. But your front door, that space is about invitation, openness, flow. The red spider lily doesn't open, it separates. If you already have this flower near your entrance, you don't have to remove it entirely. But consider repositioning it with care. Don't place it directly in the center of the entry path. Instead, move it to the side, higher up, perhaps in a hanging planter, or even better, place it in a space meant for stillness, not flow. Pair it with soft lighting, calming textures, or round elements to balance its sharp energy. And if you're drawn to its beauty, and many people are, don't reject that instinct. But honor what the flower is quietly telling you, that some beauty is not meant to greet you at the door. Some beauty is meant to be observed, not absorbed. Your entrance deserves clarity. It deserves grounding. It deserves energy that feels like a hand reaching inward, not reaching away. So ask yourself, when I walk through my own front door, do I feel held, or do I feel like something is slipping through? Because if you've been feeling just slightly off, if connection has felt harder lately, or if something about your space feels beautiful but unbalanced, don't just look at the layout. Look at what's blooming. And more importantly, look at what that bloom is saying without a single word. The red spider lily is unforgettable, but in the right place. Your threshold is the beginning of every story that unfolds inside. Make sure it opens with connection, not distance. Number 3. Confederate rose too fast, too fleeting. Some flowers change right in front of your eyes. The Confederate rose is one of those. In the morning, its petals open in a soft, delicate pink. By afternoon, they deepen into a rich rose. And by night, they fade into a dusky red or disappear altogether. It's stunning. A full spectrum of beauty in a single day. But just like a passing emotion or a half-finished thought, it doesn't last. And when placed at the entrance of your home, that kind of energy, beautiful but fleeting, can do more harm than you think. At first glance, the Confederate rose seems like a symbol of life itself, how things shift, grow, transform. But entrances are not the place for fast change. They're the place for orientation, for setting the tone of what enters your space and what lingers inside it. And when the first thing your home sees every day is a flower that can't hold its shape for more than a few hours, it starts to invite an energy of instability into everything that follows. You may not notice it right away, but the signs show up quietly: plans that never stick, a routine that always needs fixing, relationships that keep restarting but never grounding, energy that feels inconsistent, not chaotic, but like something slips every time you try to hold it. That's the emotional signature of the Confederate rose: beauty that doesn't land, warmth that can't stay, potential that fades before it takes root. It's not the flower's fault, it's simply its nature. And in the right place, this flower is deeply meaningful. In a reflective garden, a creative space, or a moment of personal ritual, it can mirror transition beautifully. But at your front door, where your home is meant to collect and contain good energy, the quick rise and fall of the Confederate rose becomes a kind of leak. It subtly teaches the space to rush, then collapse. Its color changes are dramatic, lovely, yes, but visually unstable. The home's entrance needs harmony in tone, light, and feeling. When the flower by your door changes too fast, it doesn't allow your space to settle. It keeps it in a loop of refreshing, rebalancing, recovering, and that can leave you without knowing it, always slightly off balance. This is especially challenging for people who are already in a season of rebuilding. If you're recovering from a difficult year, looking to start over, or simply wanting more steadiness in your day-to-day life, the last thing you want greeting you is inconsistency, even when it comes dressed in petals. And it's not just about color or bloom. The Confederate rose wilts fast. Its petals fall quickly. Its visual rhythm isn't one of endurance but of drama. And while that's mesmerizing in a photo, in a living space it often creates an unspoken sense of rush, urgency, or disappointment. Imagine coming home after a long day. You step onto your porch, and the flower that welcomed you yesterday is already drooping. The color is deeper, but the energy feels heavier. You wanted a moment of pause, but instead, you get a reminder of how fast things fade. That emotional micro-moment adds up over time, especially at a space as symbolic and central as your entrance. So, what can you do? If you love the Confederate rose, and many people do, consider moving it to a space where reflection is encouraged. A back garden, a reading corner, a space meant for emotion, not direction. Or, if you still want to keep it near the entryway, offset it with grounding plants, tall, strong greenery that roots the visual field and steadies the energetic pulse of the space. Avoid placing the Confederate rose dead center at your door. Give it a supporting role, not the lead. Pair it with textures that soothe: soft ceramic pots, muted lighting, smooth stone. Help it become a whisper, not a spotlight. Let it speak of change gently, not dictate the mood of your space. And most of all, remember this: the flower at your door sets the first emotional message your home sends to you and to everyone who walks in. What do you want that message to be? Stability or surprise? Continuity or contrast? Fleeting beauty has its place, but your threshold needs something that stays. Because home isn't just where you live, it's where you recharge, realign, reaffirm who you are. And when that space starts with softness that holds, rather than shifts, everything inside flows differently. The Confederate rose will always be a stunning flower. But like many beautiful things, it asks us to meet it in the right place. Your front door may not be that place. Final. So now, maybe you'll never look at a flower by your front door the same way again. Maybe you'll notice not just the color, or the petals, or how well it matches the season, but how it makes you feel before you even step inside. And that small shift in attention is where everything begins. We've walked through flowers that ground you, flowers that cleanse quietly, flowers that whisper your home without ever needing to say it. And we've seen how others, though beautiful, can unintentionally pull your energy off track. Not because they're wrong, but because they're in the wrong place, carrying the wrong message at the wrong time. And that's what energy is. It's not magic. It's relationship. Between you and your space. Between what's growing and what you're growing through. The entrance to your home isn't just a place to hang a wreath or place a pot. It's your opening note, your first breath, the emotional welcome mat to everything that happens next. So be intentional. Choose softness when life feels hard. Choose stillness when the world gets loud. Choose flowers that not only bloom but align. And if this video stayed with you, even in a small way, thank you. Thank you for spending this time in reflection, in awareness, in curiosity about the details that often go unnoticed, but quietly shape the lives we live. I hope this gave you not just inspiration, but a new kind of attention for your space, for your home, and for yourself. May the flowers by your door bloom in your favor. May they bring you quiet clarity, lasting warmth, and the kind of luck that feels earned because it is. Until next time, take care, and let your home breathe with you. Always.